Welcome back to Kickin With the Rickens, Redefining Retirement. I'm your co-host, Doug Turnbull, here with Gerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken-Provost,
hey, Doug.
father-daughter, amazing twosome at Ricken Financial. Hello to you,
the
too.
The gruesome twosome.
Did I say gruesome? I meant to say just the twosome.
Oh, I said it.
Good. Okay. I was like, man, don't put that on me.
No, you said amazing. I think you said amazing. I mean.
Yeah. That's what I was going for if I didn't say it. But get in touch with Gerry and Heidi and the team at 314-442-6476. Dial them up there or punch in the code at rickenfinancial.com, if you will. I almost said dial them up on the internet, and that's just, we don't want to talk about dial-up internet.
The old dial-up days are gone, thank goodness. Oh,
but if you do, come see me. I'll help redo your budget so you don't have to have dial-up internet anymore.
See, we can build these transitions into every sentence, all right? That's how versatile we are, okay? So we talk about so much on this show, all right? Last episode, we had a real heartfelt moment that we also related to your finances, as we talked about, Gerry, you and Heidi volunteering at SIBS Camp at Camp Rainbow.
Yep.
And then we talked about QCDs. You can find that episode, and then the whomper of a show we got to just belly laugh all the way through before that about Heidi's really a fantastic and crazy birthday,
right?
And also an announcement about the Pope. So you can find all of that on Apple and Spotify, iHeart, and some of the other podcatchers, and of course under the media page at rickenfinancial.com. Find it on YouTube and the Facebook, Instagram. There's all sorts of stuff out there. Be sure to catch up on these shows. There's a whole library of them there, and you all have, if I'm not mistaken, people all over the world listening, or at least some family in Germany, something, right?
Mm-hmm. We do, and when we announced this, we picked up people pretty much in almost every continent.
Yeah, we have, actually, which is crazy.
We haven't heard about Antarctica yet.
Well, yeah, no, we haven't, actually.
Okay, we got to get on that.
We'll have to work on that, Doug.
But maybe we'll have to go freeze there and find someone to listen.
Maybe you just got to make a visit there. Or maybe you'll have some more content and some more reach from what we're the big announcement that we're going to drop on this show today. All right. Maybe. Now, we've never said when somebody does this that they gain listeners in Antarctica, but we've got a big announcement about the future of Kickin With the Rickens, and you all are taking a big step forward. So I'll let you all take that away.
We are.
We're going to redefine retirement on the other airwaves out there.
We are bringing ourselves to the radio. So
heck yeah.
Hey, you enjoy listening to us for less than 20 minutes every 2 weeks. And if you want to listen to us for a full hour, you now will have the opportunity. So every Sunday at 1 p.m., we're going to be on the radio in St. Louis, bringing some more info your way.
That's fantastic.
On KFTK, the Fox affiliate, on the FM dial.
Today's KFTK. I don't have a very good radio voice like Gerry, so this should be interesting. Because, Gerry, pull out your radio voice for a second.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kickin With the Rickens, Redefining Retirement.
I like it. So what you're saying is the people here on our team won't have to do the voiceover. We'll just get you, Gerry, especially if Gerry's got a little cold going or something.
Yeah.
And just
That's
really
right. That's right.
But I wanted to say there's a misconception about having the radio voice and all of that. To me, it's about, can you just speak? I mean, but people listen, they go, oh, I got to go talk on the radio. It's like, no, just go be yourself.
Just speak eloquently and
speak clearly.
And clearly and concisely,
it just makes me
hopefully.
laugh because I remember a couple years ago we were in Target shopping. And
I never go to Target.
I don't know how I conned him into this because also my dad never shops. He buys.
Oh, fair.
I buy.
So if you walk in a store, you buy and you leave. You don't shop
You don't
around.
shop.
If
You
it's
don't
not
look
on
at
the
stuff.
list, get out of
with you,
here.
Gerry.
We're just going to shop and we're going to leave. So I was shopping.
In fact, Sheila hates to go
in
to Costco with me. She hates that.
Oh, I know, because you're like...
I go, boom, boom, boom. Okay, it wasn't on my list.
Except for the
Let's
first
leave.
time you ever went when you bought like a 25-person tent.
Oh, that was at Sam's. That was the Sam's when
Anyway.
Sam's first came here.
25-person tent. Okay, I want to go to that client event.
Yeah. It was an impulse buy. It was,
An impulse shop.
Yes.
That's right.
That you bought. But
my
anyway,
gosh, yeah.
So back to my story. We're in Target, and I don't remember what you said, and this woman just turns out of nowhere, and she's like, "Sir, are you on the radio?
Yes.
If you're not, you need to be." And he was like, "Huh?"
the perfect radio answer.
Uh-huh.
I DJ trivia, and I've had people who were completely aloof to my radio career, WSB Radio in Atlanta. I was on there 20 years. And I just started this trivia show right as that job was ending at the end of last summer. And they go, and I had someone young come up to me too. All right, someone who was not in WSB's demo. Hey man, you should be on the radio. I'm like, well,
yeah, thanks. That would be
funny.
so fun
I appreciate
to do that
that
as a career.
I appreciate it. And my trivia show the night before we're recording this here on a Friday, someone asked the waiter to come in and ask me what my last name was because they didn't hear me say it on the loudspeaker. So I'm like, okay, it's probably someone that listens on the radio. So I was like, hey, I'll just go out there with them. I've got an extra song on. It was the advisor from the journalism department at Georgia State that I hadn't seen. I'd only seen him probably 5 times that I was there.
Oh, wow.
That basically set up my internship at WSB while I was working there.
Okay, that is so cool.
Right. And he did listen on the radio, so he recognized my voice and was like, I think that's Turnbull. But he didn't hear me say it, and so I went out there and talked with him, and hopefully I'm going to get to speak to one of his classes. So, yeah, the voice definitely stands out. But you both are cut out for this and are so good at this. There is in fact, to me, the only thing I'm surprised with is that's only now you're going on the radio because y'all are so darn good at it.
We were waiting for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, and we really wanted to have a different space too, and we now that we've moved into our new space, we have a dedicated room for our studio. Where we're speaking to you live.
Thing of this, by the way, if you're watching this on video, you're most likely you're just listening. But if you're watching this on video, one day we will have something on the walls in our office. We promise.
Yeah,
and
that's
day will
happening.
Literally be tomorrow because it's going to rain all weekend. So we're like, okay, I can't live like a minimalist. I need the stuff on our walls.
That's how I am too. Yeah.
And Doug, if you have an opportunity to come to St. Louis on July 26th,
Okay.
we actually have a trivia night for Camp Rainbow on July 26th that Barbie, our daughter Barbie, and I are hosting.
Oh, that's cool.
We're the co-chairs of this event. But if you want to call it, that'd be great, or it'll just be me.
We need your help, Fireball.
Okay, well, they'll be good getting those radio pipes going. Okay, July 26th. I got to think of what's...
Yeah, so July 26th, and that's a shout out to everybody. July 26th, Saturday, July 26th, St. Margaret Mary Alaco Parish in South County. We would love to have everyone listening out there come to this trivia night because it is going to be a lot of fun. It was last year, and it will be this year, and it will be next year.
That's fantastic. Okay.
Because he's in charge, obviously.
That's fantastic.
When Gerry's in charge, the fun never stops.
Once Gerry pop, the fun don't stop. Hey, what we'll do here is check the podcast description here, and we'll put the information for this July 26th trivia night, and I'm sure there'll be more about it, finding Heidi and Gerry and Ricken Financial on the socials, if you will, as the kids say, to put it out there. Now, so this is going to be, the radio show is going to be Sundays at 1 on KFTK, right?
Yep.
Yes,
the
sir.
Fox affiliate on the FM dial, so y'all be sure and check that out. And the podcast is still going to continue because...
Oh, yeah.
Now, whereas the podcast, we just had, one full episode each week. What we do with these podcasts is we'll take one section of the show and put it out in the pod sphere, if you will. So you'll still have roughly a 12 to 15-minute show, and it'll be out every single week just like this. So I look forward to where that goes. Now, here's the other big part of this, though, is you'll have a familiar person shepherding you along the way on this. People that are OGs of Kickin With the Rickens and listen from the beginning up until this past summer, about a year ago. We'll get to hear the Big Mo in there.
Mr. Flatbill. The hat man himself.
The man who owns more hats than underwear, I bet.
And he's going, wait, underwear? No.
Yeah, exactly. So we are closing the chapter with you, Doug, and we appreciate everything you've done with us the last several months, lots of months. And Mark Owens is joining us again, and we're going to be on the radio with Mark Owens.
I love that.
Our original host.
Let's pray for some more Cardinals wins so we have some ammo against him since, as we know, he was the in-house hype man for the Braves forever. So we got to make sure those Cards pull out some decent W's leading up to
Cardinals
his
are doing
return.
better than the Braves this year right now. The Braves are...
Well, and the Cardinals are a surprising team right now, and I hope they keep surprising because it'd be great to be in the postseason again. The fan base here is very spoiled. When you don't make the postseason, everything goes.
It's the worst season that ever occurred.
Exactly. And growing up as a Royals fan, I can appreciate when you make the postseason because that happened for very few times, but it happened in the early 80s and then in the mid 2000s, 14, 15.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, those were incredible Royals teams there. But, of course, it's going to be great to have Mark there throwing jabs about the Braves and you all, the Cardinals and the Royals, too. And I'm so glad. I was excited to hear, actually, when Mark was going to be back involved. And now we're closing a chapter on me hosting the show. We're not closing a chapter on being in touch and laughing at our impact events and all this stuff, because
you can't get rid
definitely, of us. Y'all are incredible. And it's been so much fun to do this. And when I joined the organization here that helps you put these shows together, the program itself was kind of in flux. There are a lot of shows that hadn't started yet, right? Well, this one was the oldest one. It was well underway. And not only did I get to step into, quote, a machine that was working so well, but I couldn't be with two people that made me feel more comfortable and more welcome than you, Heidi, and Gerry, okay? So for me being brand new and figuring out this whole thing and not knowing how to talk about finance necessarily, you all, I mean, we just came in here and had a conversation and then happened to say retirement a few times and it worked out. So thank you.
Well, we couldn't have done it without you, and we couldn't do what you did for the most of your career and hang out in a helicopter.
I've never been in a helicopter, actually.
Nor have I.
I think if I were, I probably would vomit. So I really applaud you for what you've done.
and also keeping an eye on the roads of Atlanta and reporting that things to everyone while in midair. No, thank you.
The other thing I have to give you a shout out for, I knew a thing or two about baseball before I met Mark. Doug, I knew nothing about car racing before I met you. And fun fact, if you follow along our socials, you'll know that Doug's nickname is Fireball. And you might be swayed by a couple videos we've put out there about the alcohol, but fun fact, his nickname has nothing to do with the liquor. So you want to share with our friends?
I'd be happy to. Yeah. I'd be happy to. Yeah. So I did not know what, and I didn't give myself the nickname either. I think you should not be allowed to give yourself nicknames personally.
I agree.
I agree with that.
The mentor of my former radio station, WSB, who's since passed, Captain Herb Emery used to give nicknames to everyone around and the people he liked the most especially, and they usually were racing-affiliated nicknames, all right? So he came up with Fireball for me because it's sort of symmetrical with my last name, Fireball Turnbull. It's kind of like that. And also because just high energy output. That's why I think that's why we mesh so well, okay? Just like, yo, let's go, extrovert, get it. But also the Fireball, the NASCAR reference is that there is a NASCAR driver named Glenn Fireball Roberts. Everybody called him Fireball Roberts, who is a huge household name in the U.S. actually in the 50s and 60s, and ironically and tragically died from a fiery crash, actually, at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the late 1960s. So we'll take that part out of the nickname, but that was his demise, unfortunately. He died a few months after that crash. But my name was Fireball for that. And then a few years later, I'm walking somewhere in Atlanta, and I see a sign for Fireball, like $2 Fireball shots or whatever it was. And I'm like, oh, no joke. Okay.
So, exactly. Yeah.
And at that point in my life, I didn't drink alcohol ever. Like, I really, in college and stuff, I never did. So that's where it came from. But yeah, you all have made sure that nickname stuck with me. Okay, I was wondering if that would kind of die after I got off the radio. So that birthday video on the Facebook page was killer.
That is a lifelong nickname, my friend. So you have a podcast as well, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, for sure. It's called 5 to Go Podcast, and it's a motorsports podcast, mainly NASCAR, where myself and then NASCAR Hall of Famer Bill Elliott's brother, Dan, who's on their championship team, and then another kid named Devin Kupka. I'm old enough to call him a kid. He's in his 20s, a college student. We get on there, and we basically give like 3 generational views of 5+ stories in NASCAR usually each week. So you can find that in all those podcasty places as well. But yeah, I'll still be focusing on that and still, of course, digging over here. And I look forward to seeing y'all more. So it's going to be big. When does the radio show launch?
We go live on June 22nd at 1 p.m.
That's June 22nd at 1 p.m.
June 22nd. That is fantastic. So that means that's going to be the Sunday after this podcast drops. So you might be hearing this only a couple of days, or maybe even after it already dropped.
That's right.
And so we want y'all to be sure and tune in for that. And of course, the podcast will be out there as well. I know you got another appointment coming up, so we got to wrap up here in just a second. But this has been a tremendous pleasure to be on with you and making some beautiful, I say radio, beautiful podcasts. And I look forward to getting some returns from Mark, and I'll be tuning in to see how this show goes there, Heidi.
Absolutely. Doug, we cannot thank you enough for the service to us the past year or so, and for becoming a member of our family. And Absolutely. It is so true. Once you become a member of our family, I'm sorry, we're not going to let you go.
Yeah, you can't get rid of us, Doug.
No.
Nor do I intend to, for sure. I'll definitely be hitting you guys up, and when you make your visits down here to Atlanta, be doing that. Well, thank you for letting me be a part of that. The honor is mine, and I look forward to seeing how this unfolds. So, folks, if you want to listen, again, Sundays at 1, KFTK in St. Louis. That's when the show is live and on the air. Sections of it will still be available in podcast form. The next of these podcasts you hear will be with Mark and Gerry and Heidi putting it together. And be sure to send the links to your friends if you know people that need to know about retirement, or tell them when to listen, and turn on the notifications because it's still going to come out. We're not turning the podcast valve off just because we're getting on the radio. And on that note, guys, it's time to wrap this thing up here. So we thank everybody here for listening. Be sure again to check out Ricken Financial on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and rickenfinancial.com. We thank our producer, Brandon Benefield, for putting this all together. And Gerry and Heidi, I really thank you for letting me hang out with you here for these last almost a year or so. It's been a tremendous pleasure. Y'all are awesome.
Hey, it's our pleasure, my friend. Our pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely.
The love is real, too. Mm-hmm. And, guys, Gerry Ricken is a licensed insurance professional. Heidi Ricken-Provost is a retirement planner. But we can't go without saying it one more time. Gerry, every day
is a holiday.
And Heidi, life is short.
Laugh hard.
That's it, folks. This has been Kickin' with the Rickens, redefining retirement. Time to jump into radio now. Thank you for listening. We hope you continue listening right here.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Ricken Financial LLC. Ricken Financial LLC is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Ricken Financial LLC are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Ricken Financial LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Ricken Financial LLC.
Please remember that converting an employer plan account to a Roth IRA is a taxable event. Increased taxable income from the Roth IRA conversion may have several consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA.
Tax preparation and tax advisory services are offered through Ricken Financial. These services are not offered by IPW and are not subject to investment advisor requirements. These services referenced are an outside business activity not offered through or supervised by IPW.